Hey guys, how y'all doing? It's me, Johnny, back again on the channel. Sorry for no uploads in the past few days, guys. I was feeling absolutely miserable. So yeah, I'm doing much better now. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, guys, I appreciate you coming in because I love Sorare. I'm so excited about the things to come in the upcoming days. There's something that's going to happen. I'm going on a trip. I'm not going to give you more information than that, but it has to do with Sorare, and I hope you guys are excited about that one because it's going to be one incredible experience that I can't wait to share with you. So, having said that, going into today's episode, guys, we have a lot to talk about. We have to talk about Gameweek 244. Last time around when you watched us, we did go ahead and jump into the lineup builders, and I'll show you the results. Are we going to get any rewards, or have we failed miserably? And massive changes, incredible changes to the club have finally come through. I'm excited to showcase you guys what those things are about. And yeah, man, it's exciting times laying ahead. We are going from 3 teams to 2 teams. So the quantity to quality change has taken yet another step. And I'm still working at it. I'm not finished yet. As always, guys, before we get into the content, if you want to sign up for Sorare, use the link in the description down below. When you click on that link, sign up on the page. And then after you've done that, if you go press on invite friends, and then you go scroll down all the way, it should say my name. If you have done that, that means the link has worked and you have signed up for the page successfully using my link. Why is this important? It is important because if you do then go on the Sorare page and go onto the new card auctions and you buy yourselves 5 players on bids, that means you will be gifted a free item. If you sign up on Sorare without doing that, you are not getting a limited item for free. So it's very important for you to do so. So use the link in the description down below and sign up on Sorare that way. Now, let's dive into the content and the changes that have happened. So first of all, the Gameweek 244. Let's talk about it, my friends. It's very important for us to do so. We have a little bit of an issue here. That I need to talk about immediately. So, the All-Star Rare team, the team that got us the massive reward last time around, our first ever rare reward, got decimated. Didion and Cercle Bruges lost the game 3-2. It was awful. He conceded 3 goals, got a negative decisive, and Didion and Cercle Bruges, after having some of the more easier matchups, it's not looking as good right now. Birama Endoy and Anto Grigic, despite being up against the last place team, they have lost away from home, and it was disappointing to say the least. Grigic only picked up 43 points, and he was my captain. Hotic actually caught the bug, so he was not able to play. That was an issue. Senamiange coming in with 30 points himself. He also had an awful game. Despite conceding 3, though, he actually managed to get 32 points. So I guess that is all right. But that has led to me realizing once again, I'm not running a good team in All-Star. I just am not. I am not prepared yet to go crazy on All-Star. Yes, the threshold grind is a nice thing to have, but we got lucky last week. We got very, very lucky. And how many times is that going to happen? How many times am I going to have easy matchups for these teams that are not necessarily squads that are playing in dominant sides? So, because of that reason, a lot of restructuring of the account has come in. I'll show you guys in a second. I think you'll be extremely excited to see the changes that will be coming into the account. So, our under 23 rares finished 751st, which I'm actually okay with. But the funny thing is, Hilgers did play. He played against Ajax as expected. I said he's going to have a bad score, but my God, I never thought it would be this bad. He is, after having 35 points to begin with, he is down to 0. It's incredible. I genuinely couldn't believe my eyes when I saw this. Mace Hilgers, I felt bad for you before the game even started. He got himself 0 points against Ajax. It is what it is. Our captain actually did well. Saliba, despite conceding, he got himself 61 points. That is why I personally really, really like him. That is why I purchased Saliba into the club and why I believe in him as one of the main parts moving forward on our account. A player that can be used in Champion Europe, a player that can be used in under 23s and be very, very successful at it. So, Fabian de Kaiser has conceded 1 goal. They have lost late on into the game. He conceded. Until then, he was on 71 points. And then after he conceded, he dropped down towards the 44 here, which obviously wasn't helpful. Hudemakers, his team lost 4-3 against the last place team in the league. And I watched his team play. Cambuur's not a good team. As much as I like Hudemakers and his all-round scores, his team is just not good enough. But it is still impressive that he picked up that many points despite conceding 4 goals. I was kind of upset, though, that in those 3 goals that his team scored, he didn't play a part in it. So we could have had a decisive there and a clean sheet here and not 0 points for Hilgers, and we would have looked good. But, of course, that's the whole, like, woulda, coulda, shoulda talk that we will always have on Sorare. But the under 23s did not get a reward. The Champion Europe Rare, on the other hand, the upsetting one for me personally. Paul Lopez and Marseille, once again, not capable of keeping a clean sheet. I was extremely disappointed with this because it is against the last place team in the league. And the way they conceded the goal as well, it was just not a good look. But despite conceding, Kaleta Khan managed to get to 57 points, which makes me very happy. That's good to see that. Saliba picked up 61. He picked up 57. So both centre-backs, despite conceding, have put up good scores. Payet, ever since I bought him, he has not had a single decisive yet, but that will change at some point very soon. His corners were awful. I was watching the game live, and his corners were always kind of short. He just seemed a bit off form, and he got fouled a million times in that game. So, yeah, that wasn't necessarily ideal either. I think we can see his stats here. Was fouled twice. That is not true. He got fouled at least 5 times. I can't believe they've only given him was fouled twice there. That's a disgrace. Nonetheless, Payet was my captain. He picked up 55 points in total. Moussa Diaby, on his debut for the club, got himself 77 points in a 4-2 win over Stuttgart. And that one gave me hope. But sadly, the boys from Marseille have messed it up because we started off with Moussa Diaby with the 77 points there, which is great. And Fabian Ruiz coming up with the 48 against Inter, which led to a total above 50. So I was thinking, all right, we have like an average of 60-something here in between the two. If these guys can get a clean sheet, I'm looking good. But it didn't work out. And another thing that we definitely have to mention, under 23s this week, it was abysmal. Like, up to 150 if you got rewards, right? A tier 3 rare in under 23s. Let me show you what you would have had to get in order to get into it, into the rewards. You would have had to get 356 points. That is an insane amount of points for under 23s. It was an unprecedented week that came around where Ajax just dominated the hell out of their opponents. And if you look at this guy who got first, he got 503 points. Do you understand that that on average means everyone has to get like 100 points plus? How crazy is that? So here's Lisandro Martinez and Timber had a great game against Twente. 5-0 victory, as you guys have seen. Twente actually hit the post once, so that would have hurt these guys massively, but it didn't happen. So Julian Timber and Martinez for Ajax have done really well. Gakpo got his decisives up. He got himself 94 points. And then Bailo for Feyenoord got himself 78 points as well with a clean sheet. So this man managed to get 503 points with a rare lineup. I mean, if we go into super rares and we go into the under 23s on the super rare level where they have higher percentages of boosts, he would have gotten into the top 3. That's how crazy that score is. Like, that's how insane that score is. So even in the All-Star division, he would have made it into the 4th position with that under-23 team with rare items only. So under-23s this week was very, very hard to get into rewards unless you genuinely had an Ajax stack or some of those Eredivisie top players. Like, for example, I'm sure one of these guys have him. Where are they? Where is he? There he was. So Orkun Kökçü. This guy has put up 100 scores in the last 2 games, I believe. So, yeah, he's one of people's favorites. Florian Wirtz, I'm still extremely interested in, but I don't have the funds to get him at the moment. But yeah, under 23s was very hard, and I really hope that next week is going to look different. But yeah, genuinely, guys, I'm just excited for what's to come. I am fully aware that this is not a week that's going to happen all the time. All those boys won't get hundreds every single week. That is just how it is. So we'll have to hope next week that Ajax does struggle a little bit more and concedes a goal, most importantly, because their defenders seem to be the top performers in the team. Now, for this game week, guys, for the team that I have put together, I only have one team that I put into Champion Europe, and that is this squad right here. Marseille is going to be up against Karabakh, and I'm genuinely excited to see how that result is going to go. Like, I really, really hope that they finally pick up that clean sheet, which would boost all these 3 players' stats. I can easily see someone like Saliba getting an 80, him getting a 70, and him getting a 70 as well, if we finally can get that clean sheet for Marseille. They're playing at home. I hope with the fans in there in the stadium, if they are there, I hope that these guys can put up a good performance, and I hope that Payet can get a decisive. If all that works into our favor, we are in an amazing spot to go for rewards in Champ Europe. And then we also have Kingsley Coman. Yes, I have bought myself Kingsley Coman. As a Bayern fan, I wanted more exposure to the Bayern squad. I am fully aware that Kingsley Coman is someone that gets injured many, many times. But if and when this guy plays, if and when he is fit, as you guys can see here on these scores, he's quality. He's absolute quality. He's so good in dribblings. He gets past people all the time, which will hopefully help his all-round scores anyways. But with the Bayern attack, nearly everyone gets a decisive every game normally. So you hope to see someone like Kingsley Coman at the price tag that he comes in at, that he will do well. And funnily enough, I picked him up for much cheaper than that. I picked him up for 2,400, and just today he sold for 2,800. So you can see that people are buying teams for midweek, and we have picked him up at a great price here, which I'm very satisfied with. So Kingsley Coman is a new member of the club, and he takes over in that position right there to complete this lineup. And Bayern is up against Salzburg. So again, I'm hoping for a good result, but Salzburg at home, I believe in the Champions League, are unbeaten this season. So I'm hoping things can work out for us here, and we can see a great bounce back from Bayern Munich after the massive loss against Bochum. And the good thing is, Coman in that massive loss has still picked up 80 points. Bayern lost 4-2, if you guys remember, and ruined everyone's Bayern stacks. But this is the midweek team. We have high hopes. We might be able to pick up a reward here. If we do, I'll be extremely satisfied. And I actually asked an expert on the French game here for Marseille. I said Genesis, his name is on Twitter as well. Go check him out. He says, I asked basically, you think Marseille will be rotating too much for all these guys to play? He then answered, it's a tough one. The guys, what is that English? He says, the guys to be most worried about are Lopez and Caleta Car. It's an easy game, but a tournament Sampaoli is taking very seriously makes predicting the lineup very difficult. Okay. So he says Caleta Car and Paul Lopez are not set. Oh no, is he going to play Mandanda? Oh, please don't. That would ruin everything. Oh, Mandanda. He's like a club icon, isn't he? I would absolutely hate to lose out on rewards because we have a rotation of goalkeepers. Man, that would really suck. Because Mandanda, as you guys know, was a long time goalkeeper for Marseille, as you guys might remember. I mean, we have We have Pau Lopez playing for AS Roma for a while, right? He was playing for them. Then he swapped over to Marseille, it looks like, and never really got any playing time. And after he picked up from Mandanda, it's been good performances most of the time, apart from the time where I bought him. But yeah, we'll hopefully see Pau Lopez play. If he doesn't play, that's going to be heartbreaking, honestly. I would hate to see that. But if all these guys play, I am in for rewards. I really am, I think, because these matchups are too good. But yeah, it could be yet another week of heartbreak. We'll see how that goes. But guys, it's time. It's time to jump in there. Let me showcase you my listings. I have listed up Didion. I have listed up Endoy. I have listed up Rabi Matondo. And you might be asking yourself, what happened to the other players that you have in your squad? What did you do with them? Have you gotten rid of them? Or what is the current situation in your club? Well, guys, I have made some massive, massive changes to the club. Before buying Kingsley Coman, I wanted one of the top performing under 23 midfielders to come into my team, and I purchased myself Vinicius Souza in a swap deal, which I was very happy with at the time. So Vinicius Souza, let me show you guys why I've gone for him. First of all, he himself is the best all-round scorer when it comes to midfielders in under 23s. So let me show you right there. Midfielders under 23s, all-round scores, he is number one. 27.8 average all-round scores. That just showcases you this guy's ridiculous. Anyone that gets close to his level costs like 4K. Chouameni, Kökçü, those types of players. You have Sangare, who is only eligible for under 23s this year. And then you have this man from Asia, which is probably a good budget buy for whoever wants to get involved here. If you guys are interested, this guy looks like a decent valued player for his all-round scores. But is it just a few games? No, it actually isn't. Wow, this guy's good. Hey, there you go. Just found a hidden gem. If anyone wants it, go ahead and get this guy into your team, man. In terms of value, you're not going to get much better than this when it comes to under 23s. So Von J could be an interesting one for you guys. But for me, I wanted someone that has potential to move forward in bigger sides as well. Vinicius Souza coming in with at least another year. So 1.5 years of under 23 utility we'll have with this guy. And if you go into his scores, look at this. 85 without a decisive. 83 without a decisive. 86, again, no decisive. No decisive. There, he had a decisive, actually. Then he had no decisive and 51 all-round points. And then 62 right here. Along with the reason as to why I went for Vinicius Souza being the all-round scores, I also have gone for him because I think their team is actually quite good. So you have the likes of Kuipers and Mratti here, who are quite good offensive players. You have someone right next to him who is a midfielder capable of getting goals and assists as well. And you have a decent goalkeeper at the back with a solid defensive back line as well. Vinicius Souza is the one that I personally was very interested in. But on top of that, they have Nicola Storm here. This guy is an unreal scorer. He was suspended in the last game, but he's going to be back again this week. I was actually very much thinking about picking him up as well for my all-star team moving forward. I might be quite interested in Nicola Storm because he just looks very, very good. And in terms of stacks, you can have Vinicius Souza in the same team with him. So if I was ever to move Vinicius Souza out of my under 23 team for whatever reason, because the matchup is not that good or something, we might get Nicola Storm and put them both into the all-star lineup as well, because I think this guy, for the value, is just ridiculously low. And because of his suspension, not that many people were interested in him. So he has gone for lower prices because people get impatient, just like myself. But Vinicius Souza comes in as the top all-round scorer for midfield. And if he gets a decisive on top of his all-round scores from time to time, we could see those insane 100 scores if possible, but it hasn't happened yet. Hopefully, from this point on, it will happen for him. Now, that is not the only signing. We talked about Kingsley Coman already, but you see a special, special man, a special individual right there. Guys, that one has me so excited. So basically, if we look into it here, we go over to Orkun Kökçü. 87.7 in his last 5, 75.5 in his last 15 and 62.9 on his last 40. L5 top player, L15 top player, L40 top player. So I have just got myself the best scoring midfielder in under 23s. And you might ask yourself, wait, how did you do this? Did you put in even more money now? What are you doing? No, I have restructured my club and I've gone for swap deals. Musiala is gone. Musiala is gone, guys. I have given up Musiala plus Anto Grigic, our somewhat decent performer of the All-Star division, and some ETH on top for Orkun Kökçü. It has happened. I'm extremely happy with the deal. And just overall, I am so much looking forward to seeing what kind of lineups we can build in the future. Like, honestly, guys, it's going to be mental. With the signings that we have made, with the players that we have brought into the team, I am so looking forward to the next game weeks. I've already tested a couple of lineups, so let me show you what we have done for the upcoming game weeks. This is the one that's about to start, as you guys know. I really hope that Pau Lopez plays. If he doesn't, I'll be extremely upset because Mandanda is somewhat of a club legend, so they could easily give him playtime, and I would hate to see that. So we go in here into the next game week. Next game week, I have a lineup in which Saliba doesn't play in under 23s. He will move over to the Champion Europe team. I don't care if he's under 23 in that sense, because if you look at player rankings, and you go defender and you go Champion Europe, what do you see? You see Saliba as one of the top performers in the Champion Europe region. If we go based on L5, you can see here Saliba should be somewhere in here as well. He's one of the top performers despite Marseille constantly conceding. Ever since I've bought Marseille players, he still managed to get 65.8. If we go based off of L15, you saw it there a second ago, he is 21st. If we go based off L40, Saliba is in there in like the top 10, top 15. So anyone else that I would have to bring in for these types of L40 scores, right? 5,000, 5,700. Matip, cheap, but gets rotated a lot. A lot of DMPs involved in that sense. Joe Gomez is fit again. Konate is fit. They play a lot of games and a lot of rotation happens in the Liverpool team. I thought about Matip for a while, but decided against it because I was maybe thinking maybe I'll pick up Matip now for the Champ Europe team to use Saliba there. But I don't have to constantly spend money. I can just put in Saliba into the Champion Europe team and have him paired up with Pau Lopez, which is going to boost my chances of getting a good correlation going between the two. If they pick up a clean sheet, that's even better, right? So I can pick up decisives on both of those players. But yeah, that is going to be the lineup for Champion Europe Rare. I'm excited about that. Under 23 Rare, now we will have Hilgers coming back after an awful score. If you look at FOTMob, actually, if you go in there and you look at leagues, you go all leagues, Netherlands, Eredivisie, and then we take a look at specifically that last Ajax game. So we, oops, sorry, that's the wrong thing to click. We go to the Ajax game. I know Hilgers had 0 points on Sorare scores, but if you look at the defenders, he was the highest scoring defender out of any of them on general FOTMob rating. So the right back had 5.1, the centre back proper had 3.9, Small had 3.2. So Hilgers was actually the best defender in the team still, but they obviously got ruined. So I can't really expect much out of that. But Twente have some good matchups coming up from this point on, which I'm excited about. Up against Go Ahead Eagles, they are 14th. Up against Cambuur, Hoedemakers' team looked very incapable to win games in that last game against Pek Zwolle. They lost massively, and I can see them continuously struggling from this point on. So that's going to be an interesting matchup for Twente at home as well, where I can easily see a clean sheet. And then the first really tough matchup is going to be the AZ Alkmaar one. But after that, they're up against Pek Zwolle again. So things are looking a little bit better. And things will be better for Twente, I assume, because their goalkeeper, Unastal, is a very good goalkeeper as well. So I hope that things will work out for us in the under 23s. But look at this lineup now. We have Fabian de Kaiser in goal, who, yes, isn't the best under 23 goalkeeper. The most important thing, though, with under 23 goalkeepers is that you just have one, right? So we have one here that we picked up on a decent budget. Hilgers comes in, who has a decent matchup. We have Kirkju, who I think will do extremely well against Cambor again, which has me very excited. And then we have Vinicius Souza, the all-round god, who has a decent opposition score here. And I am hoping that his team can do well, especially with Storm coming back after suspension. And then we have Diaby up against Mainz, which will be quite an open game with a lot of attacking opportunities. So that is the team that we have for the under-23s. And again, I can go even further than that. I have teams lined up for Champion Europe Rare on Game Week 247. Then I have a team lined up for Game Week 248, as you guys can see there. And I also have rotation coming into the under-23 rares here. So someone like Vinicius Souza would not be playing in this game week. I would go attack heavy and I would go decisive heavy. So I would try and get good points out of this one with, again, Hilgers with a decent matchup. Kirkju with a tough matchup, but could do well against AZ Alkmaar. You never know. And Jesus Ferreira coming back and now playing for the MLS with a 52 opponent score. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does. And then Diaby up against the 15th in Arminia Bielefeld, where I think they will score a lot of goals. So, you guys have seen it. The restructuring continues, the diamonding of the squad, basically. We are bringing everything down to a very, very strong core that can actually win rewards. We now technically have two of the best under 23 midfielders, really, in our team, and that has been very excited. It just comes down to continuously building upon what we have and finally getting into the rewards. And this week, this midweek game week, we actually have a very, very, very good chance in terms of the matchups if the players that we have chosen play in the starting lineup. If they do so, well, it's time to get excited, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys next time. And sorry again for no uploads in the last few days. Your boy was sick. Have a great day. Take care and peace.